What the brap is up, everybody? Hey, it's Cody with Dirt Nap Dirt Bike Adventures channel, bringing you another vlog from the 701 Chippewa, aka Freedom. Loving this bike. Have to do a review on it, initial impressions, and hopefully a long-term use review. Today's video, we're going to go over 5 things that you might overlook and need to absolutely bring on your trip if you're going to do a BDR. And we're going to get into it right after this. So I recently did the Idaho Bdr. I've got some videos out and some videos coming out on that. You should check them out. I met Tim Collins from 40 Times Around.
I'm just gonna look out like stoically, okay?
And we just had a riot. Man, probably one of the coolest things I have done in my life, if not the coolest. It was a riot. But we were stopped for gas, and this gentleman approached me, started talking to me about how he wanted to do the BDR next year for his first time, and he was curious about items to bring and not to bring, which inspired this video. A little side note, I made this video with Tim while we were in Idaho, right next to a beautiful river. Apparently the microphone adapter had fallen out. I had no audio. And item number 1 is simply plastic bags. Oh wow, brilliant, you say. I watched this video and that's what you tell me, bring plastic bags. Well, yes. Number 1, pack in, pack out. Leave it nicer than you found it, so it's as beautiful next time you go back as it is now. You can use them for trash. Also good to keep food in. Just keep it separate from everything else. Also, if your boots and socks get wet, you try and dry them overnight, they don't dry, you can throw them over your socks, new socks preferably, and slide them into your boot. That'll keep the water or the wetness from your boot off of your new socks, and hopefully the wind will dry out your boot. A lot of bikes probably up here. It's Sunday, and as you can see how beautiful this is. I love it. The gentleman asked me, what's one item you would definitely suggest I not forget? And that was very, very easy to answer. Would be a water filter. We are using the SAWYER, and it was great because there's one thing you do not want to run out of. It's water, followed by gas, but water. Grab yourself a water filter, especially if you're doing like the Idaho or Utah BDR. There are rivers. Man, it is awesome and so refreshing to have fresh water. Item number 3, not to forget, would be a first aid kit. I have a link below to Tim's first aid kit. I got to see it firsthand and it is pretty darn cool. I'm gonna have to pick myself one up. I suggest you do the same. For obvious reasons, you want a first aid kit. We had a little incident. Talk about that more in other videos.
Actually not that bad.
Considering what you went through, that's
yeah.
Even for little things like if you burn your finger, you know, cooking your food on your jet boil or a cup in the fire, etc. Have some burn cream. Just little essentials. Little bonus on the first aid kit. Make sure you bring any medications that you take regularly. Some extra ones. And maybe some painkillers. Ibuprofen, aspirin. Another side note, all of these items, there's a good reason that I am suggesting them in this video. We either had them and needed them, or did not have them and did need them. This is trial and error. It's not something I read out of a book. It's just the experience that I had, and I'm hoping to help you have a better experience while you're out adventuring. The next item to bring would simply be rock straps, or something similar, but rock straps are great. I had an incident here. I was following Tim. This is day 1 of our trip, and boom! There goes my right pannier. Luckily, Tim had some straps. They weren't rock straps, but they were straps nonetheless, and I was able to take the dry sack out of the pannier and strap it to the bike. You never know what you're gonna need to attach or reattach to your bike. Souvenir that you can't live without. You might pick up a new tent or a new sleeping bag. Anything that you didn't have when you came, or like I said, lose a pannier. Do not forget your straps. Extra straps, extra straps, extra straps. The next item is the Spot or InReach. Tim carried the Spot and I carried the GARMIN InReach. We did have some incidents out on the BDR where we were glad that we had them. Luckily we didn't need to use them. But not only are they great for emergency situations, they are two-way text satellite phones. I'll leave a link below to the 2 that we used. If you're in an emergency situation, need help, you can get a text back saying, hey, we're on our way, we'll be there in half hour, or hey, it's gonna be 2 hours. At least you know they're coming. Also, helps you stay in touch with loved ones. You can text the wife, the girlfriend, the boyfriend, husband, mom, babysitter of the kids, what have you, and receive back a text message. It does require a plan for that. They have different levels of plans, but it is definitely worth it. Number one, for safety, and number two, peace of mind and just convenience, because a lot of the adventures, especially on the Idaho Bdr, you're without service for hours, sometimes days at a time. Don't pull a bonehead mistake and not take your satellite safety device, okay? Stay safe so you can adventure more later. And the last and bonus item that I would suggest for your BDR travels is to make sure prior to leaving that everybody that is going to be on the trip with you has downloaded the GPX file of the trail and the GPX viewer. Prior to that, I had to rely on Tim, and I mentioned this in another video, so I'm not going to get way in depth on it. But to make your ride more enjoyable and your partner's ride more enjoyable, if both of you have the GPX viewer and GPX file on your satellite phone, even if you don't have service, you can see your dot where you're at in relation to where the trail is and make your way onward through the adventure. So those are the items that I suggest you do not overlook and forget if you're going to go adventure, especially on the Idaho Bdr, but it is relevant to any other adventure ride. So those are the items. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please leave some comments down below and any suggestions of items that you would suggest to bring along on such adventures. If you got something out of this video, please click a like, hit the little bell, and subscribe for future videos. Don't forget to check out the videos on the Idaho Bdr. I'll leave a link at the end of the video. Once again, stay safe and come join the adventure.